So what if I told you there's a fighter jet that can take off from a regular runway, launch from an aircraft carrier, and land vertically like a helicopter? Same jet. All three. And no, I'm not making that up. This is the F-35 Lightning II, and today we're going to break down what this thing actually is, what makes it so capable, and we have a real F-35 pilot talking about what it's like to fly one. So if that sounds interesting to you, stick around. Welcome to Hardpoint Military. Let's get into it. Alright, so the first thing you need to know about the F-35 is that it's not just one airplane. There are actually three different versions. Same name, but each one does something different. The F-35A is the standard one. Takes off and lands on a normal runway. This is the one the Air Force uses the most. Nothing too crazy, just a very capable stealth fighter jet, which is already pretty wild when you think about it. Then there's the F-35B, and this one is honestly a bit of a show-off. It can take off from short runways, launch from ships at sea, and when it's time to land, it hovers and comes straight down, vertically, like a helicopter, but it's a fighter jet. Engineers spent years figuring out how to make that work. There's a giant fan behind the cockpit and a nozzle that redirects engine thrust downward. Sounds simple when you describe it like that. It really was not simple. And then the F-35C is built for aircraft carriers. Tougher landing gear, a tail hook to catch the wire on the deck, and the wings actually fold up to save space on the ship, which is kind of cool. A fighter jet with folding wings. Three versions, three different jobs. If you've already got a favorite, drop it in the comments. A, B, or C. Genuinely curious which one people think is the coolest. Now the specs on this thing are kind of hard to believe when you look at them. The F-35 flies faster than the speed of sound. That's over 760 miles per hour, so it's moving faster than the noise it makes, which is a strange thing to think about. The helmet the pilot wears has cameras mounted on the outside of the aircraft feeding directly into the visor, so the pilot can look in any direction and see outside. They can look down through the floor of the cockpit and see the ground below them, through the jet. That's just a standard feature of the helmet. The jet runs on about 8 million lines of computer code. For context, that's more than what runs the International Space Station, so there's quite a bit going on inside this thing at any given moment. It has over 300,000 individual parts and is built across 3 countries: Fort Worth, Texas, Cameri, Italy, and Nagoya, Japan. Parts come from over 1,500 companies. Every jet takes about a year to build and gets tested hundreds of times before it ever leaves the ground. My laptop takes 45 minutes to install a Windows update. These people built a supersonic stealth jet in a year. Kind of makes you feel some type of way. So all of that is impressive on paper, but what is it actually like to be inside one? We have Major Chris Marslender talking about exactly that. He's the Director of Operations in the 61st Fighter Squadron, and he flew the F-16 for 11 years before moving to the F-35, so he's got a real reference point when it comes to comparing the two. At the time of this interview, he was in Oregon on temporary duty, TDY in military terms, training with the 123rd Fighter Squadron. They were doing what's called DACT, dissimilar air combat training. Basically, you go fly against jets that are different from yours, so you understand how they operate. Different platforms, different tactics, different strengths. It's how pilots stay sharp. Let's hear what he had to say about flying the F-35.
Certainly, it's Major Chris Marslender, CHRISMARSLENDER. So I'm the Director of Operations in the 61st Fighter Squadron, and I'm the detachment commander for the moment while we're here in TDY to the 123rd Fighter Squadron for the week while we're training with the 123rd.
So you guys are doing DACT, correct? If that's true, so what is DACT?
So it's dissimilar air combat training, so it's an opportunity for us to get out and train with other platforms besides the F-35, specifically the F-15Cs here out of the 123rd and the F-16s from the 8th Fighter Squadron out of Holloman.
How's your experience been so far flying with the F-15Cs up here?
It's been wonderful. The 123rd and the Oregon Air National Guard have been great hosts to everybody involved.
Major Marslender on flying the F-35.
It's good to see a lot of friends out of the 8th, as I'm a previous F-16 pilot, and a really great opportunity to integrate not only on the friendly side, but on the simulated enemy side as well, and get to know everybody and their tactics and how we can work better together.
Can you tell me personally how it's felt being up there in a 35?
Sure, it's a great aircraft. The computers really do an awful lot of work to present us with a lot of information and take a lot of the workload off the pilot so we can concentrate on other things. So it does afford us a lot of that information and allow us to concentrate on a lot of other parts of the fight, and it's been really wonderful.
So have you flown other aircraft in the past, and how do they compare themselves?
I was an F-16 pilot for 11 years. The F-16 is a great aircraft. The F-35 is really, really capable and designed for a couple missions very specifically. It executes those missions very, very well, and as I said, really arms the pilot with a lot of data to be able to make better decisions.
So basically, the jet handles so much of the data processing, sensors, radar, targeting, that the pilot can focus on making decisions instead of trying to keep up with all that information at once. In a real combat situation, that's a meaningful advantage. He also talked about how the F-35 compares to the F-16, which he flew for over a decade.
Flying with the F-15s we don't get to do very often because we don't have any of those stationed down in the southwestern United States. Or at least near Arizona, and particularly in active duty. So having the chance to integrate with those assets is really a treat for us. The airspace is great out over the water that we really get a lot of freedom to maneuver and exercise the full envelope of the aircraft, so it's really been lovely.
Awesome. Is there anything else you want to add, sir?
No, that's it.
Awesome.
All right.
And coming from someone who flew the Viper for 11 years, that actually means something. F-16 pilots love that jet. They don't casually say another aircraft is more capable. If you flew the F-16 or you know someone who did, drop something in the comments. Would genuinely love to hear what the Viper community thinks about that comparison. So what was actually happening up in Oregon? Major Marslender was there training with the 123rd Fighter Squadron, Oregon Air National Guard, who fly the F-15C. They also had F-16s from the 8th Fighter Squadron out of Holloman Air Force Base in New Mexico. The whole point of that kind of training is learning how other jets operate, their tactics, how they move, what they're good at. So if you end up flying with or against those platforms in a real scenario, you already know what you're dealing with. He talked about what the flying environment was like out there.
Have you noticed anything unique about being up here in Oregon that makes it different being up here flying the F-35?
Well, it's certainly different from Arizona with a lot of the wildfires that you guys are dealing with this time of year, very unfortunately. That has made it a little bit more challenging to get into and out of the airspace, but no problem for us. And again, the 123rd have been great hosts. And the hosts here at Portland International have been wonderful to us.
Full envelope basically means no restrictions. They're out there over the Pacific actually pushing the aircraft to its limits, which sounds like a pretty solid day at work. He also specifically called out the 123rd and the Oregon Air National Guard as outstanding hosts throughout the week. Guard units put in a lot of work and don't always get the recognition, so that's worth saying. If you're Oregon ANG or you've got family who served there, drop something in the comments. Always good to hear from people with that first-hand experience. So that's the F-35. 3 variants, insane specs, 8 million lines of code, and a helmet that lets you see through the aircraft. And we really only covered the basics today. Next episode, we're getting into the ground crews, the people who reload and refuel this jet and get it back in the air in under 30 minutes. That's a whole different side of this world, and honestly, impressive stuff. If you got something out of this video, hit the like button. It genuinely helps the channel grow. Subscribe to Hardpoint Military if you're not already, and leave a comment whether you served, someone you know did, or you just want to say something. The comment section is open. See you in the next one.